Your show of shows.
Yes.
Sid Caesar.
So let's make a decision. Are we going to talk about Gen V? We talking about Loki? Didn't mean to make that rhyme.
That was cool.
But I did.
Gonna talk about
Gen V or Loki?
Gonna talk about Loki.
Let's talk about Loki, because that one had a big, like, what the fuck. I mean, both shows did, but so episode 4 had a couple of really gruesome scenes, if you think about it, because I almost totally forgot about the scene with Renslayer Miss Minutes and that whole situation. So how do we want to talk about this episode?
Well, I must say you're going to be a lot better at it than I am, because I kind of fell asleep throughout.
Oh, I fell asleep at parts, but
not because of the show, but because I had taken muscle relaxers and I've been having some back issues. So, and it was Sunday.
Tisk.
It was after my football game, and
you participated.
Huh?
After the Vikings game, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the Vikings game.
But you said my football game like you were playing it.
Who says I fucking didn't?
I was in my heart.
I was
on that field.
Listen, I could throw a pass over them there Rocky Mountains right now.
I want to be there for Kirk. Anyway.
But I didn't really feel like watching the second slate of games, and so I just kind of laid in my bed, and I was kind of just laying there, and I remember, like, I was paying attention, but I wasn't. I don't know. I was...
Well,
but the end, like, caught me off guard when he gets, whatever.
Well, just the fact that, like, we were talking about we're still trying to figure out who pruned Loki, and then this episode reveals that it was him.
That's why I kept falling asleep, because I was like, I'm getting...
I'm going to yawn. Yeah. I'm really going to be descriptive.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was an interesting and fun twist, and, like, when you have to think about it, too, of, like, just how much fun it is when this show plays with time.
Yeah.
And because that was like a legitimate thing of like, I was wondering who pruned him. We never got that answer. And then to see it get paid off in episode 4, being like, oh, wow. It's so the Loki that we were following wasn't the Loki we thought it was. And, like, that's a fun play on, like, how time works and the variance and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I think I was kind of shocked at how far the show took it, because you get more with Brad and the other.
Oh God,
like,
yeah, they
rogue TV.
crushed them all. Like, I do remember that. Ugh.
So they put him in that cube.
Ugh.
And then they crush, and you don't. But that's what's so smart about how and effective this is. You don't see anything.
No.
But you know the implication, and you hear the sound of these people screaming. And it adds, like, a crazy level of violence to it. And it goes back to, I think, a Multiverse of Madness, where you're seeing,
is
like...
Is it B-15 is her name?
Yes.
The hunter that's with them on their side?
Yeah.
I can't remember her, the actress's name, but I've said it before.
I'll look it up.
I'm a huge fan of this actress because she sells it. When she comes into the room, her that acting was great. Like, she sells, like, what she's seeing. Because, let's be honest, she's looking at nothing. The actress is looking at nothing. She has to make us believe that she's looking at something almost, beyond words evil and gruesome, I mean, gross, right? It looks like a flat pancake full of ugh.
Full of ugh.
We can assume, right?
Sorry, I was looking up who that actress was for you. But it's just it's Wunmi Musaku.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't want to butcher. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher that name.
Well, let me see. Where is it?
It's a
Wunmi Mosaku.
Yeah, that's who.
Yeah, she's. I think
is.
she's British.
She is British.
Yep. But yeah, she was in that We Own This City. She's great in that.
We mention that every single time we talked about it.
Because it's a great fucking show. Have you watched it yet, Dick?
I'll never watch it.
I fucking know.
Anyway.
I fucking know that.
Well, but that again, it's it's showing what you can do, and like I said, with Multiverse of Madness, and showing that you can, pushing the boundaries of what you can do, and it was just a horrifying scene. It's like, oh my gosh, like that's so brutal, and it really puts into perspective what's next. Like I think these next 2 episodes are going to be insane. And
I mean, what the fuck happens at the end?
Well, yeah, there's 2 huge moments back to back to end that episode where you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So there's a couple theories for this. So the one theory that we were talking about off the air before we started recording all this was there's a theory going around that so the episode ends, as everybody knows by now, Victor Timely walks out to do essentially what Mobius did in the first episode and hook up the temporal loom, or help fix the temporal loom, and he gets spaghettied. Like legitimately looks like spaghetti.
Like
it was
immediately.
such an amazing shock moment because I just remember being like, what?
Wait.
Because all I had been hearing about it, I hadn't had it spoiled. I just heard about the fact that there was this really big moment at the end of the episode. So I'm like, oh, is it setting up something? Are we going to get another Kang? Is there something going, another variant or whatever? But to have that moment of him getting legitimately spaghettified is just unraveled in a very gruesome way was such a shocking moment. And then there's that moment of light. So the one theory that we were talking about was that the plan was always to have him. There's a Kang that was intentionally having Victor Timely go out there and die and put his essence into the temporal loom because you and I were talking about the idea that Victor Timely is always going to be the He Who Remains.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I thought they were setting up when they give him the book.
And we're dealing with loops. And I think the end of them dying is resetting the loop.
Yes.
Like this whole season is a loop. That's why we keep seeing that's why Loki always goes to that spot and says, boom, I promise this will make sense. Like I think that's what we're seeing. And so now that loop is broken. So now where does it go? I don't know. Did they die? Did they all die? What's happening? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Or maybe we're resetting the loop. And then we go back to, okay, but now
I'm not sure.
Or maybe the loop is broken because Victor Timely's dead.
I don't want to speculate for a couple reasons, and one of them, I'll go through them right now. One of them is that I don't think I think I'm smart enough to come up with like a reasonable explanation for what happens next. But I also don't want to like second guess what they're doing because they've been doing such a great job this season so far.
Can like making me second guess everything.
Right.
Nothing I predicted has been true.
Right. So
which is good for me.
That's why I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna let it happen. And that's the other reason really is I want to be surprised. I want to be like, wow, mind blown again.
But it shows you how good this season has been because.
Red hot.
We've been trying to theorize what's happening and figure out what this means, and it's like it's the joke I've been saying is like it took one good MCU project to make me invested again.
Yeah,
I'm not hard to please, guys.
No, and
just make a well-written show.
And that's what we did. Like again, you can go back and listen to every single fucking episode review that we do of Moon Knight, except for the last one. Listen to all of them. And in every one of them, except for the last one, we're effusive. We're like, oh, this is great. I'm so excited about this. We're gushing over Oscar Isaac's acting. Just the concepts that are being
especially
put forth.
episode 5. We loved episode 5.
Right? Oh, my fucking God. And then listen to the final episode. We're like, what the fuck? Why?
Well, it's because, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, they're restructuring how they're doing TV.
Sure, and that's a good thing.
I think this is starting to show with this show of quality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, it continues to be great. I really have no idea where this is going. I think that I have some ideas, but I'm kind of where you are, where I'm like, I'm embracing the fact and enjoying the fact that I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
And while I am kind of like, there is that thing in the back of my mind that you always deal with MCU products, is productions. That's what I meant to say, productions. But you could say they're just products. America. There's that lingering thought of like, what are the last 2 episodes of this season going to build towards? Because it's obviously going to set something up for Phase 5 and where they're going to go with Secret Wars. And
I'm hoping there's sorry, keep going.
Well, no, I'm just saying that voice is there, but I'm trying real hard to tell it to shut up and just enjoy the show. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I was trying not to stop on you again. My thing is that I'm still. We've talked about this many times. How we want to be able to just enjoy these shows, these movies without. I can't help it almost. I'm looking for the big Easter egg.
But I'm not feeling that as much of this show.
I'm not either, but now with this ending though, now my brain is going crazy. Like,
yeah. My
brain is like, oh, we're going to fucking see the X-Men, dude. Like, no.
There's some people saying that and
it's probably as simple as what you're talking about. The theory that you're talking about. It probably is. Generally, when
See, I don't want to overthink it.
No, but when the year leading up to Endgame, there were so many theories about what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And there were some theories that I did look at because I couldn't help myself, but there were theories that turned out to be correct. One of the big ones was that it was a time heist.
Mm-hmm.
All that shit. And so I'm not going to go online and be like, oh, I wonder what the sources say, because I haven't done that in a long time. I've gotten way away from that, and I'm glad. I don't want to just spend my time.
You know what it does? It makes you less
sloppy.
Yeah. But I'm right there with you. 90% of me is right there with you. Can't wait to see what they got in store. But that 10% is still, oh man, fucking Cable's gonna come in, dude.
There's gonna be something with the X-Men and Magneto,
and
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yeah, remember what show was it that
WandaVision? Everybody was thinking that
Mephisto just right
and
around
that's
the corner.
thing too. I don't want.
There was another show where Mephisto was supposed to come around.
I don't want to build myself this hype of something that I don't know if it's gonna be true or not. Just enjoy the fucking show.
What other show was it?
And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We are enjoying that show.
Yes.
Big old, you know what you get? You get a big old honking.
I'll eat your ass.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like that drop. You don't. You don't. It's okay. We're going to move on.
People have been talking about Coach Prime lately. Wonder why. Huh.
Pew pew quip. Pew pew quip.
It's almost as if you have to win games. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.